Welcome back for part 5 of Fraser Valley Climate Action's review of Nat Bullard's 2025 state of decarbonization. We just finished looking at how diesel sales for Chinese truck makers has peaked, which is good news. It means we're getting onto some cleaner things. Natural gas may be a cautionary tale. Worried about that one a little bit, but electric's growing. China's exporting lots of auto parts and vehicles. Look at the vehicles climbing. And that makes sense because we know from the previous slides that their capacity has remained high while they have sort of saturated the internal market. And that's good. Auto parts is growing as well. Good. Got to fix those things. India's EVs emerged too. Three-wheelers, I'm always suspicious of those, but two-wheelers, okay, that makes sense. Bikes and things. Um, and passenger vehicles. There you go. Tesla's sales top tick. The last time Tesla's annual deliveries declined, it shipped under only 650 cars a year. So last year, 2024 was 179 million. Sorry, 1.79 million. Big difference. And the previous year, it had sold more at 1.81 million. So it's interesting to see how Tesla's sales cooled off towards the end of 2024. I wonder if that has anything to do with Musk getting distracted by politics and trying to fix society rather than working on rockets, artificial intelligence, embedding computing in people's heads, and Tesla. How many things can a person successfully do? The answer is less than they think. Used convergence. This is good news, guys. Used Tesla prices are converging on indexed used car prices, right? So car gurus, I love searching on their site. Yeah, you can also get like new low mileage Teslas for like 30. This is US dollars. You can get them cheaper than this. But anyways, used cars for Tesla are coming down. This has to happen as people move on to the new models. Those used cars are becoming available for more and more people. And I mean, look how close those numbers are. Like you're not paying very much more for the car, and then you have lower maintenance costs. You have increased reliability. So this is really important. BYD, Build Your Dream from China, tops the quarter, but Tesla leads the year. Okay, so this is electric vehicles sold or delivered per quarter. Okay, I wonder what the total is for BYD if we look at all 4 quarters. Tesla tops out in Europe. Interesting. So 2023 had more, and this is the same thing. They sold fewer cars got registered. Yeah, Tesla's been a really good car company and produced some really good cars. And I mean, they've transformed the whole of automotive manufacturing quite literally. So it'd be too bad if that dies because of the political stuff. Red oval, blue oval, BYD and Ford. Yes, okay. Interesting. Look how BYD is approaching Ford's estimated sales. Yeah. So they're definitely a contender. Look at that ramp on BYD from 2021 to 2024. Wow. BYD in the little red dot. So they're selling cars in Singapore more than Tesla or Honda, Nissan, Mazda, BMW, or Mercedes, only being beat out by Toyota. Now, Singapore's pretty small. I wonder, but perhaps relatively wealthy. So that's interesting, right? Suggests that they're able to capture some of that luxury market. Yeah, Ro-Ros. These drive-on, drive-off ships that are used for shipping cars overseas. BYD has 4 of these. LNG powered. Okay, so that's cleaner than bunker fuel. But sometimes so LNG is liquid natural gas. Natural gas is just methane, so it's cold methane. So like when you burn methane, like not all of it combusts. So some of it comes out in the exhaust, and it's a powerful greenhouse gas, 80 times more polluting than CO2. So that's not great. And if there's any leaks when they're fueling it or from the tanks, as there often are, That's why these things need to be ventilated. Like, it's not great, but let's see what happens with it. The global south. China exports more solar and EVs in aggregate to the global south than to the EU or the US. Okay, good for us to recognize that North America is not the center of the world. Often North America thinks it is the center of the world. So the EU's buying up lots of batteries. So is the US. Um, I'm not the least bit offended that Canada never makes it onto these charts. That's fine. It's how we're usually observed by our neighbors to the south. Um, electric vehicles. Also, we're a smaller market. We're like a tenth the US, right? The industrial complex, manufacturing boom. Interesting. Power and gas invested more than manufacturing. Looks like manufacturing has flipped the script. Well, that could be encouraging. Now, it does suggest that in the last 4 years, dare I say, under the Biden administration, the investment in manufacturing in the United States has been growing like crazy. So some of the hand waving we've heard from the orange guy might might actually be asking for exactly what the previous government did. Oh my goodness, give your head a shake. I'm trying not to be political. It's just so annoying. The first terawatt hour year, annual lithium ion battery demand crossed 1 terawatt hour in 2024. So Elon Musk was calling his factories gigafactories because they produce like a gigawatt of batteries per year, or maybe more now. But look at the demand in the world. If those gigafactories only produce 1 gigawatt, if that was true, we'd need 1,000 of those factories. We're already there. We crossed that threshold. Batteries over capacity. Global battery market could be oversupplied all decade. That's interesting. That should mean lower prices, more ability to deploy them. Like if you got a factory, you don't want it sitting idle. You might as well make use of it, that investment, right? You might as well make something on it, even if the profit margins get thinner. So look at that capacity. Wow. Solar overcapacity. The manufacturer of PV modules, 250% of global demand. So that should continue to drop those prices like we've been seeing. Heck, I want to buy solar panels. Everybody should. Price down, competitiveness up. Lithium ion battery packs are now $115 a kilowatt hour. Almost 2/3 of China's EVs underprice ICE equivalents. Well, that's interesting. Does that work like a subsidy for ICE, for internal combustion engines? Oh, I see. The EVs are underpricing the ICE equivalent. Now I get it. So underpricing, that's interesting. Instead of just saying it costs less or the sales price is low, they're calling it underpricing. That implies that maybe it's intentional strategy to build market share by having less profits. Oh, gigawatt promises, megawatt deliveries. Europe's green hydrogen reality has yet to meet its policy ambitions. 6 minutes left. So yeah, this was the idea that we'll have a hydrogen economy and we'll use seawater and we'll run electricity through it and produce hydrogen and oxygen, and we can just let the oxygen go into the air and we'll burn the hydrogen and it'll give us nice clean water again. Um, Burn it, we'll run it through an electrolyzer so it produces electricity and we just get to moist air out the other end. So look at what the plan is and look at what actually got invested. I believe these might be to scale. Like that's not impressive, guys. So anybody who's like hydrogen, 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 it's not happening. Doesn't matter how excited you are about it. It doesn't mean it won't ever happen. It just means it's not happening now. Announced decarbonization. Hundreds of decarbonization projects in hard to abate sectors are announced. Fewer are operating. Yeah, the easy part's the announcement. I don't know what FID is. Oh, final investment decision. Oh, this guy's got great notes. Thanks, guy. Nat, you're amazing. So in aviation, 143 got announced, a 40-year operating. That seems significant. That's good. Aluminum, 13 got announced. 7 decisions were made and 33 are operating. It seems like they're doing more than they're talking. Good for them. Ammonia, I have no interest in ammonia. That must be for fertilizer. Wow, not as good. The talk is good, right? Other chemicals, the talk is good. Cement, nothing. Steel, nothing. Shipping, nothing. In terms of operating. I mean, we can hope it's in the pipeline, right? Lagging in production, leading in additions. Electric arc furnaces are 1/3 of steel making capacity today. So we can use electricity produced, cleanly to make steel. But it's 93% of announced new capacity. Well, that suggests some positive pressure to grow that out. Green steel, right? You got a hydro dam or you got a battery running off a wind farm or something like that producing your steel instead of burning coal. This is brilliant. We got to go there, guys. Sustainable volume. Sustainable aviation fuel sounds like a marketing name. Production is increasing, but it's only 0.3% of jet fuel production. So, yeah, okay. And that makes sense. It'll be more expensive to start up. People will be suspicious of it. Doesn't smell the same. Plastics could use up half of the remaining 1.5 C emissions budget by 2050. There's some debate about whether that budget's already been spent, but okay, I'm listening. Billion tons of plastic, CO2e, life cycle GHG emissions. I had learned that 90% of the GHG emissions from plastic are already emitted by the time the plastic product is produced. So, yeah, I don't know about lifetime. I guess things going to decompose. Maybe get shipped to me. Old and older advanced economy power networks and equipment are old. Yeah, and this is why we need infrastructure under the control of governments, in my opinion. Because if there isn't a profit to be made, um, making sure the grid is, robust and growing and up to the task, then, for-profit companies might just decide not to do it. We'll see how that works. U.S. power transformer prices spiked in 2020. Why? All right. Power infrastructure is old and unevenly so. Okay. Electric rail. Okay, electric rail is pretty cool. India now electrifies more than 20 kilometers of its rail network a day. That's so cool. A wave of new LNG capacity will arrive in the next 4 years. This is really problematic. Maybe, yeah, I'll talk about it quickly. So, methane leaks. It leaks out of wells, it leaks out of tanks, it leaks out of pipes. It leaks out of facilities that process it. It leaks, it leaks, it leaks. It is 80 times more polluting from a greenhouse gas perspective than CO2. So before the stuff ever gets burned, it leaks. And the estimates from industry are that 1 to 3% of all methane just leaks. That's the company saying, yeah, don't know where it went. Which is weird because they get paid money to sell it. So you'd think they'd be motivated to stop those leaks, but maybe it's a harder problem than we think. Now that's what they're reporting. What they're not reporting, it could be even worse, right? So let's say you want to sell it to someone far, far away and you can't get a pipeline there because it's, across the ocean. Well, if you refrigerate it to 160 degrees Celsius minus 160, you get it in a liquid form. And then you can ship it across and then you can use a bunch of energy to heat it back up so it can be used. Like there's a lot of waste in that. Let's end there and I'll catch you in the next video. This is the end of part 5. Thanks for sticking with me.